KFM will start to mutate the body in different ways. It moves very unusual. One may be straight in, but if I have like some signal or something of interest, it might look like that. I might enter here. I like entering low because if I hit that, see your chin? I know it's right there. I know this wing elbow. I know that hammer fist, right? Headbutt's going to happen immediately afterwards.
One thing that we probably didn't touch on earlier, you know, we're talking about like looking out the windows. So these are my windows right now, and I can turn my head and look out at them. I can also manipulate the shapes to move them around. I can manipulate my body to look at them. One of the things you guys want to focus on as you get more comfortable being in the structure, taking and delivering force, is your optics. So to be able to pick up on, well, where's the next strike coming on? Is one of his buddies coming over to help me? I need to have the ability to, while I'm taking that heat, to be able to look around and monitor my environment. And that's going to be what helps me get ahead of time as well. So when you're first starting this, a lot of times you're going to have like a flinch response where you see closing of the eyes and that kind of mentality. If you see that in your partner, go slower, because we don't want to drill out into our bodies. We want to have that ability of like, I'm looking as all this is going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've had guys get to a black belt level and still have a flinch. And they're not, do you fear what's happening? Not at all. But earlier their partners picked on them a little bit, and now it's in their bodies, their nervous system. So good optics, training your eyes to see. What Coach teach earlier today? A 3-part decision-making process that started with optics. This is important because martial arts they don't teach optics. I always tell a story. I have a young lady that's ran my school for the last 23 years. We had a 7,000 square foot school, big mat. I'm in the middle of it. I'm fighting Chris Benfield. He's a black belt. Took me felt like 2 hours to finally get into a mount position, and I was starting to bask at the glory. It's like, I made it. And I felt this tap on my shoulder. Something had happened in the office, and she came out and tapped me on the shoulder. I didn't even know she was there. Ran up to me. That could be considered aggression. And at that moment, I was just like, "What? That's not good." You know, anytime in those positions, I should be surveying the room. You have to build that habit, like on the range. You know, sometimes range control will tell you to look after you're done. So good optics is a timeless tool as well, because it helps you stay ahead of time. Proper timing is something that will stay with you. Questions on the direct elbow? We had a couple of questions. If she forms that shape too, that can block a punch. We've done that, right? If she violently occupies my space, acts like it, now it's a weapon. You see, it's the same thing. It's just when she delivers it, right?
If I'm in front of him, he might just at some point pull off and hit. So if I feel that happening, I'm ahead of time. I can just come in right with that. So that's what that can look like. You want to do it faster? Or like?
Sure. I'll try to stay out of the way.
Yeah, so my partner is going to do a good job of leaning back. Right. Because if he comes forward, most time people aren't going to be back here as they strike. They're going to lead with their head. So that's what I'm looking for.
So we up to this point, behind time. Sticky hands. I rip off, and if all she does is get her hands up, at least she got her hands up. But if you read it, the same shape, she's occupying my space with it. Right.
So from here, I would just practice touching one and the other. 1, 2. So see, that's just like a forward direct elbow. And you don't have to hit it hard with a lot of force. You can just practice forming and touching. Does that make sense, everybody?
So we're going to run a series of them. This is the first one, direct elbow.
Is this defensive? I'm sorry, I missed that first
It's okay. This is offensive now.
Okay.
So think of this. Usually if they start to get aggressive and punch, play a little bit, I'll hook a little more because I want them to super elevate. So she's trying to rip off. Now she's got the punch. I would do it right here. I have two options. One is I just block, or I throw the elbow. If I'm ahead of time, that's going to happen. If I'm late, whoa, I'll at the very least block. The point is the shape operates in both. My plan may be to be offensive, but if I'm a little late, I'm still in shape. I'm still covering my head. It might be the drunk uncle, and I don't want to do the elbow. I'm going to eat a few of these, calm him down, put him on the couch. So you can operate in both. And I'll say this too, I don't commonly throw it at the face. She's demoing because it leaves a lot of evidence. I generally shoot for the body.
Oh, yeah.
Right, there's less evidence for how we look at it. Okay. So the next,
So how would that look though?
how would it look afterwards? That's
No,
funny. Somebody go get Ed.
No, like you said, you're not going to go for the face. You're going to go more for the body. So how would that look? And
Do a low line entry on you.
Okay.
This is very cookie cutter to learn it.
Yeah.
KFM will start to mutate the body in different ways. It moves very unusual, but it's a good thing because it's unlike human movement. So one may be straight in, but if I have like some signal or something of entry, it might look like that. I might enter here. I like entering low because if I hit that, see your chin? I know it's right there. I know this wing elbow. I know that hammer fist, right? Headbutt's going to happen immediately afterwards. So this, these are musical notes. We haven't even started putting them together for music yet. We're just going, hey, here's your first one. Does that help?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah. Look like Taylor.
What's that?
I said you look like Taylor. Going into the.
Yeah, and this is how the system demonstrates it. It could look like I'm losing as I'm winning too. My hands are on my head. Please don't hurt me anymore. Again, it depends on how I want to project it visually. That's one of the reasons we chose the material for this class, is what the potential it has to be visually appropriate. Okay, so she forms that shape too, and she did a direct elbow with it. The same shape can do a winging elbow. Just show wing real quick in the air. The arm wings in and wings out. It could just be arm, but you can also see there's rotation of the hip. So she wings inwards, she wings outward. A little more breath. There you go. Breath. Right. If she tilts her body, that makes that structure a downward wing or an upward wing. Downward. Damn. Up. Good. Which is what I used on her earlier for the chin. So I entered with a direct, brought the chin in play, right? Gives me other options too. That's the wing elbow. There's 4 positions I feed as a feeder. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, wing in, wing out, wing down, up. Nice. One more time. Forward, out, down, up. Show me a direct. Wing down, wing up, wing inward. Good. So aggressive. Okay, try it with your partner. We'll come around. If you get stuck, let me know. Winging elbow. So a lot of times on the downward one, if I'm here, I'll tilt. Sometimes the guys will imagine touching this elbow to that knee.
So it's tail.
Right.
Okay. That was good. Your hands again for me.
So it might be this, right? I might bump him.
Okay.
There's that upward one.
Yeah. So still
It doesn't have to be really that powerful.
hot, yes? So
That's it. That's better.